And welcome to the Hot Seat of College Football Show. I am Trent, your host, as today I wanted to do another one of these rant videos as I'm on vacation. Today's actually my last day of vacation. I'm going to be home again tomorrow night. So Monday we'll have another video out. So I won't have a video out tomorrow. I'll have probably a short out tomorrow. But videos will be back to normal on Monday. I hope you guys enjoyed this little vacation. You get the cool background as I don't have any editing software, so these videos are a lot of rant videos. But I wanted to talk about kind of some of the state. Well, what's up with my camera? Some of the state of college football. Okay, now my camera is. Can I like? What? Oh my goodness! What is going on? There, just stay there. Okay, whatever. Just kind of the state of college football a little bit, as the Big Ten still trying to apply and suppose the idea of a 2014 playoff, and why this kind of marks the year that either the college football as we know it died and something else was born. Is it better? Is it worse? Honestly, we don't really know yet. Because obviously as the transfer portal stuff, we thought maybe it would only benefit the rich. But then, out of surprisingly nowhere, within 2 years, Indiana wins the national title. So, obviously I think that was on nobody's bingo card. Indiana, if you didn't really pay attention to Indiana, which I'm not going to fault you for, no one really did. It's like Purdue. Like, if you would have told me before Signetti got there, who's more likely to win a national title, Indiana or Purdue? Like, who's better in football? It's Purdue. Purdue is at least been ranked some years. But, yeah, Indiana winning it was definitely a surprise, and a result that the transfer portal NIL has led to parity. It has not led to a monopoly. It's actually done the exact opposite, which is that something that we have almost kind of been not necessarily waiting for, but something that we didn't know that we needed. The thing that's kept the NFL alive for so long is its parity. Yes, if parity goes too far, you get kind of the NBA where literally a new team wins it it's like a new Indiana winning it it's Indiana wins it this year, then Kent State wins it next year. It's every year it's a new team, because of how much, since basketball rosters are smaller, and just how much parity is in the game with the draft. Cooper Flagg went to the Mavericks, got lucky, but Cooper Flagg is that team. LeBron is the Lakers, or was. James Harden and whoever the other Cavs play. That's the team. It's a very superstar based league. Football's not like that. It's a roster based, so there's a lot more people involved. So I don't think it's as similar to like the NBA, but I think we could get there. Look at the NFL. Obviously NFL's had parity for a long time, but the Patriots were the third or fourth worst team. They went to the Super Bowl. Commanders, one of the worst teams. They go to the NFC Championship. So. The Broncos. Is that a bird behind me? Look at all the birds behind me. Parity is something that's in most professional sports, and college is not professional. Kind of is now. But this is the first time we've really seen a bunch of parity. So that's all I have for parity. One of the other things, this is kind of just a rant video. The next thing I wanted to talk about was what I was saying earlier about the Big Ten supposing a 2014 playoff, and obviously what that does for the sport. It ruins the regular season, and if you're like me, which a lot of you are, most of you probably are, especially if you're like a college football junkie like me, as much as we want to say the playoffs, winning the national title is an amazing feeling. It truly is, and it takes a weight off of your shoulders for an entire year, for an entire off season, and it resets the clock for when the last time your team won a national title. But for someone who was waiting for a national title for a decade, some people have never got it, but I've waited a decade. It's it's not like you win the national title and then you're infinitely happy, because there still is next season. Eventually, that title will fade, like the 2014, the 2020, the 2002 national titles did. Eventually, that title will fade, and you'll be looking for the next thing. Ohio State has forgot about that title. After 2026, every single player that was on the roster that was starting is gone. Jeremiah will be gone. Everyone's gone. So now we're on to the next thing. We're not worrying about that. We're not thinking about the national title anymore. So if the way the playoff structured already has almost no hype to it. And if winning the national title doesn't give you the most thrilling experience, where do you get that from? And it's very simple. It's the regular season. The regular season is the most impactful, most emotional, most important, most exciting, and most entertaining thing in all of sport. The regular season in college football is truly, truly special. It is. And I say that as I have a shirt talking about Ohio State played Alabama in the playoffs. But it truly is, like, yes, I love rewatching Ohio State playoff games. Do you know what I also really love? Rewatching Ohio State regular season games. You ever just find yourself watching Ohio State Penn State 2017, Ohio State Penn State 2018, Ohio State Michigan 2016? I know Ohio State fans don't like this, but even Ohio State Michigan 23, or I'm using a lot of Penn State, or Ohio State Texas in the regular season, or Ohio State Oregon in the regular season. And you go farther back. I mean, some of the Texas Oklahoma games were amazing. LSU Bama 2019, LSU Bama 2022, Alabama Tennessee 2022. Alabama, Georgia, last year, 2024. I guess 2 years ago now. We love the regular season games the most. Because if you are a fan of one of those teams, winning or losing that, like in the playoff, like I love rewatching Ohio State's run. I love rewatching the Ohio State Tennessee game. I was at the Ohio State Tennessee game. But the thing with that is it leads on to the next thing. Like, if you win let's say Ohio State won that Tennessee game but lost to Oregon in the Rose Bowl the next week. No, I don't give a crap about that Tennessee game. But in the regular season, the Michigan game, I mean, I don't care if we lost to Clemson 31-0 in the Fiesta Bowl. We beat Michigan in double overtime. I still love that game. And you look at the people that run the sport, why should they care about the regular season with a 2014 playoff? Because if you look at the rankings this year, I think Iowa would have been, if they're 25, they'd be the first team out. But I don't think they were. I think they were higher in the 20s. 8-4 Iowa would have made the playoff. And yes, Iowa did have a decent non-conference game against Iowa State, which they lost on the road against like a last minute field goal. It was a long field goal. Iowa actually lost to Iowa State the same time, the same way 2 years in a row. So if you have a team who's 8-4, why do you need to care about the regular season? Even if you take away the non-conference game, you have 3 losses in conference. And yes, like a 9-3 Big Ten team, sure. And yeah, Iowa almost beat Indiana and they almost beat Oregon. Iowa's a decent team last year. They probably are one of the 24 best teams, but they don't deserve to make a playoff in any format. In any format. They didn't have one good win. Their best win was against Penn State, who was terrible. I won't say terrible. They gave up halfway through and they had injuries. But why should Iowa make the playoff? Like, for over 100 years, the regular season was a playoff. Every big matchup was a playoff game. I keep going back to Ohio State Penn State just because Penn State is one of the teams, they never made the playoff ever because they lost 1 or 2 big games. They never beat Ohio State. They beat Ohio State, they get to the playoff multiple years. If Michigan beats Ohio State, they get to the playoff multiple more years. If Ohio State beats Michigan, they get to the playoff multiple more years. I think the birds behind me are Penn State fans. They're not happy that I said that. But if it's a 2014 playoff, who cares? Who cares? And it's not even like, well, you have to, we're going to play really hard all season because we want to practice hard so when we get to the playoff, we're already warmed up. You don't even need to do that. In a 2014 playoff, there are so many rounds. And let's say you're a good team you kind of benched your starters and you lost a couple games, you didn't care. You have a good roster, and now you have 2 rounds of garbage opponents. You don't even need to warm up before the playoff because you're going to have plenty of time to warm up in the tournament. And if you do that, the regular season becomes like the NBA. No shade to the Pacers. They went to the finals, Game 7. If they don't have an injury, they probably win. But they went like 500. A little above 500 throughout the regular season. Why should that team, why should you care about the regular season if a team that was lost 30 games in the regular season went like 50 and 30, 52 and 30, and then made it to the finals? Why should you care about the regular season if a team that can go above or near 500 can make the finals? Compared to the Cavs, I said the Browns, the Cavs, who were like 60 and 12. They're like 50 and 8 at one point. I mean, they were the 1 seed. They get bounced in like the quarterfinals or whatever. I don't really keep up with the NBA. But why should you care about the regular season? Well, in the NFL and in the NBA, you don't care. You don't care. And it's unfortunate, and that's why I think the NFL is such a boring product. The NFL playoffs, I think, were great. The Super Bowl sucked this year, but for the most part, the NFL playoffs were great this year. But the NFL playoffs are like over a month. It's like a month span for the playoffs. The regular season is like 2 or 3 months, 3 to 4 months. And if I'm obviously like a Browns or Bengals fan, but I don't have like a level like Ohio State in the NFL where I care about this team. This team dictates my emotion. For me, I have a bias towards a team that sucks, so they don't matter anyways. So I am watching purely from a non-biased perspective when I watch the NFL. And it's boring. That's why I don't really watch the NFL. It's boring. So, college football was never supposed to be like that. Waking up knowing if you lose 1 game, you could be out. And you know what I'm saying? I don't even really like that. I thought the 4 team was a little too exclusive. I thought that it should be 8. I think an 8-team playoff would probably be the best. Because, I don't know. I think you could have... Because the cool thing about 8 is you could do the 4 conference champions or the 4 highest ranked teams from the Power 4 and then 4 at large. You have 4 automatic qualifiers and then 4 auto bids. Or you can just do the top 8. I don't really care. But it's... Because, I mean, I love the first round, but James Madison and Tulane do not need to make the playoff. Bama shouldn't have made the playoff. Miami shouldn't have made the playoff. Just like what I said about the Pacers. If you are 50 and 30 in the regular season, you shouldn't make the playoffs. Miami went 10-2 in a weak conference. Yes, they beat Notre Dame, but they went 10-2 in a weak conference. And they lost. They had 2 horrible losses to SMU and to Louisville. And they went to the national title. And Miami was one of the 3 or 4 best teams in the playoff. It was Indiana, Ohio State, Miami, and Ole Miss. And then like maybe Georgia or Oregon at 5. Those were your best 4 teams. They made the national title. They almost beat Indiana, and they shouldn't have made the playoff because they didn't deserve it. You lose 2 games to bad teams, you probably shouldn't have made the playoff. Probably shouldn't. I love the first round. If you're asking me, I think the first 2 rounds should be on home campuses. But this whole thing with like we're gonna put 24 teams, have an 8-4 Iowa in? Are we serious? No, we're not serious. Because if you have a 24-team playoff, it ruins the regular season. So you don't have to worry about the regular season. You don't got to worry about your big brands failing or missing the playoff. You don't got to be upset that SMU made the playoff over Alabama, because Alabama's going to get in either way. We saw this with the rule change for Notre Dame. Notre Dame's in the top 12, they automatically get in, even though they don't play anybody in their schedule. If you ask me, Notre Dame should be banned from the playoff till they join a frickin' conference. Or they can be independent, but they're in the ACC. They are independently in the ACC. Or independently in the Big Ten. They can be independent, but they should play over half an ACC schedule, and they should be qualified under the auto bids and be eligible. Actually, no, they shouldn't even be eligible for a conference championship, but they should be tied in with the ACC. Because that's basically what they are. Trying to think if there's anything else I want to talk about. Trinidad. Let's talk about, I think Joey Aguilar is also getting a thing. So Trinidad is going back to college at 24, which I don't know why. I don't think he's going to be able to replicate the magic he had in the playoff and late in the season this year, just because he's not going to have Lane Kiffin and he's losing a lot from his team. A lot of guys left. A lot of coaches left to LSU. Head coach left. You have Pete Golding back. I mean, you beat Georgia with Pete Golding. So, I mean, I'll give you that. But with the quarterback class that this year had, with Dante Moore staying, it was going to be Fernando 1, Trinidad 2. Trinidad was going to be quarterback 2. Maybe quarterback 3. So, now that he's coming back, look at the quarterback class he's going to be involved with next year. I'm going to see if I can do all of them off the top of my head. Dante Moore, Julian Sand, Arch Manning, Lenore Sellers, DJ Lagway, let me think what else. Himself, Sam Levitt, potentially Aiden Childs, Rocco Becht, Brendan Sorsby, Drew Mestemaker. I can think of anyone else. Gunnar Stockton. Who else? Darian Mensah. I mean, I can go CJ Carr from Notre Dame. I mean, I can go on. This quarterback class going into next year is going to be, you thought the one from 2 years ago with McCarthy and Caleb Williams was good. This next one is going to be so incredibly stacked. If Trinidad slips, I mean, we're talking about him being quarterback 2 or 3 with Ty Simpson being a late first round, early second, mid-second rounder, to now if he slips, he could slip to the 4th or 3rd round. You are missing out on millions of dollars to come back to a depleted Ole Miss team. And now you're going to be, there's controversy with Deuce Knight. So you could see the locker room split between a guy where Deuce Knight was from the transfer from Auburn, was told that he was going to be able to play, and now also Byron Brown. Talking about Auburn, Byron Brown's going to be one of those good, awesome quarterbacks too, and Kevin Jennings too. I'm pretty sure, and Jada Mayava, and Nico Iamaleava, and DeMond Williams. I mean, I keep thinking of more. I mean, this quarterback house is so stacked. But going back to Ole Miss, I mean, like, what if you lose the job? I don't think you will, but like, you're putting yourself at risk. And now you've kind of, your reputation's not ruined, but like, you're kind of like, I don't know why I don't know if people want to like work with you. I don't know. This whole thing we're going to have people staying in college forever, making more money there on the NFL. It's going to hurt the NFL, which is good. I want the NFL to bend the knee more to college. I've been waiting for that. But I don't know. It's tough. Because you want guys like Trinidad to stay in college. You want him to play more because he's only here for 1 year. And he might actually have a case to stay. But it's like, maybe this example specifically will work out. hold on. Maybe this one will work out specifically, but like with Joey Aguilar should not be in college. Why is he in college? Like, so I don't know. It's just college should be 4 years, 5 with a red shirt. 6, you get 1 medical red shirt. It should be 6 at the most. Like, at the most. And I don't know. I don't really know. Like guys don't want to go to the NFL. The NFL is suffering. I mean, Dante Moore is going to be the 2nd overall pick. And now it's gone. I mean, now Arvell Reese is probably going to be the 2nd overall pick, or like Ruben Bain or something. So, I don't know. But this is not the sport that we thought. The regular season is going to eventually probably be meaningless. Bama is canceling. I'll talk about that too. Bama is canceling. Looks like they're going to cancel their home series with Ohio State. Which I'm like, yeah, I don't have to play Alabama, but also like, I want to play Alabama. Give me Bama. Give me Bama. And Georgia and Texas and whatever. We'll play everybody. I don't care. I don't care. The regular season thing that I get the most excitement out of anyways. But yeah, the sport is changing. And it's going to make as much money as possible because we're all just going to watch it anyway, so they don't care. They don't care about us. And it's sad. It's sad that the sport's kind of coming to this, but what can you do? What can you do? But yeah, I'll talk about that. So Ohio State loves to poke the ball and schedule really tough non-conference games. We did home and home with Virginia Tech a decade ago when they were pretty decent. We did a home with Oklahoma. Then we did one with Oregon. The first half was canceled because of COVID, so we played the second half of a home and home with Oregon. Then a home and home with Notre Dame. Then you get a break. Home and home with Texas. Then a home and home with Bama. Year break. Home and home with Georgia. So we did with Oregon, Virginia Tech, but really like Oregon, Notre Dame, Texas, Bama, and Georgia. Those are like your top 5 programs in college football. And Ohio State scheduled all of them. And if they're gonna cancel it, I want Bama to be the one that cancels it. I don't want it to be Ohio State the one where they cancel it. But yeah, I mean, this is kind of it's one of those things where it's like this year for Ohio State's schedule, I wish we didn't have to play Texas. Our schedule's hard enough already as it is. But you're gonna see less. With the conference is getting so big, you're gonna see less of these non-conference games, and I do the live betting prediction sheet, and I try to schedule my top 10 games throughout every week. And I looked at the one last year and the one compared to this next one. Week 1's terrible. Week 1 has LSU Clemson. That's kind of it. Week 2 is really good because Ohio State, Texas, and Michigan, Oklahoma are paired together. Which Michigan, Oklahoma will be noon. Ohio State, Texas will be night. But you're not going to see that much anymore. You're not going to probably see Ohio State, Georgia, or Ohio State, Bama, or LSU, Clemson. Notre Dame, people are dogging on USC for canceling against Notre Dame. No, USC, I get it's a rivalry game. USC has every right to cancel that game. Notre Dame plays nobody on their schedule except for 2 guys, and it's going to be like Miami or a Clemson or an A&M or USC, and that's it. And they don't play all of them at 1 year. They only play 2 a year. So they'll have 2 tough games and then play nobody. They'll play the service academies in like Arkansas and Virginia and Pitt and terrible. Pitt's not terrible, but like terrible. Boston College. Terrible teams. And they'll play a billion group of 5 teams. They'll play Marshall, Northern Illinois, which they'll still lose. They'll go ahead and lose to Marshall and Northern Illinois. But they still schedule those games constantly. But USC, they're already in the Big Ten. They have to play Ohio State, Michigan, Oregon, Washington, Penn State, and they have to travel from coast to coast. Why would you want to play Notre Dame on top of it? Why? I mean, we look at this year. Oh, there's fish. There's fish jumping out of the water over there. With USC went 9-3 this year. They lost to what? Illinois. They beat Michigan, lost to Illinois. Lost to Oregon, lost to Notre Dame. If they didn't play Notre Dame, they're 10-2, and they're either the first team in, or the last team in, or the first team out of the playoff. Why would you want to play Notre Dame anymore? And Notre Dame won't join a conference, so it doesn't even make sense. If Notre Dame was in the Big Ten, then it's like, okay, sure, they're in the Big Ten. We'll play Notre Dame, but if we play Notre Dame, they're not going to give us Ohio State and Notre Dame. They're only going to give us one. And they'll give us Notre Dame because it's a rivalry. So we don't have to play Ohio State. So I totally understand why USC does not want to play Notre Dame. And it's sad. The sport is really changing. It is really changing. It's not going to be as bad as we all make it sound. Everything eventually turns out equalizes. So we're not all going to die. The sport's not going to be terrible. The past couple of years have been awesome. There's been so many upsets. And the parity is really cool. Seeing Indiana win national title is really cool. Even though I don't like it, it still is really cool. But Ohio State, Michigan will always still matter. There'll always be at least some non-conference games. Maybe it's not the best. Yes, also, you got to get these non-conferences out of the neutral sites, especially with the playoff. I mean, Oregon, Texas Tech. I don't know why Texas Tech fans didn't show up. I mean, I guess Oregon fans were waiting, but even when they played Indiana the next round, there was no Oregon fans there, and there was no Oregon fans at this game. The stadium was half empty. I've seen spring games with more people there than the Oregon-Texas Tech game. And that was a playoff game. That was Texas Tech's first playoff game ever. And the first week of the season, when Tennessee played Syracuse and when South Carolina played Virginia Tech, the stadiums were empty. Imagine if South Carolina played at Virginia Tech or they played at home. You hear either Darude Sandstorm or Enter Sandman. You don't get to hear any of it. Tennessee, that could be in the Dome, which is, but imagine that was in Knoxville, full crowd. But no, we got to play a neutral site. Georgia Tech is in a neutral site. It's embarrassing. It is truly embarrassing. I'm glad Ohio State doesn't have to play these neutral site games a lot. I think the last time we did was 2018 when we played TCU. That was Ryan Day, I think, first game as the interim. But, yeah, I know I've been ranting long enough. This is the last video I'm going to do on vacation until I get back. But we are like 13 subs away from 200. We were at 100 at the beginning of the year, and with almost a month and a half, almost 2 months, we've doubled the size of the channel. That's awesome. That means the world to me. Make sure you hit the like button. YouTube doubles the amount of the impressions. It recommends the show twice as the amount as videos that don't get likes, because YouTube ranks content off of how much people engaged with it. So please hit the like button. It's free, and if you watch the entire video up to this point, it would mean the world to me. And if you want to hit the subscribe button, help us get there, and turn on the notification bell if you want to get a notification before everyone else on YouTube when I drop a new video. That'd be awesome. And leave a comment down below. Just comment whatever. If you just want to say hi, if you want to complain, if you want to talk about sports or whatever, just leave a comment down below. But again, that is all I have for you guys today. I will see you guys on Monday, and as always, thank you.